Okay, today we're going to be looking at page 71 through 72, which is titled Scaling Figures 2. So let's start with the example on the first page there, on page 71. And what you see there in the picture is we have two similar triangles. First a bigger one, and then a smaller one. And you'll notice that this says 12 centimeters, and this is 21 centimeters, and then the bottom of the small triangle is 7 centimeters, and then there's an X. So we're trying to find out what X is, and we want to be sure that we understand what the corresponding sides are first. So we know that this side corresponds to this side, and then we know that the bottom of the triangle here corresponds to this side, okay? And then of course the other side, the diagonal side, corresponds. So we should be able to set up a ratio to solve this problem. Alright, so the two corresponding sides, 12 and X, have to equal 21 over 7. Okay? So, and be sure you get them in the right order. If you put the big triangle on the top, you need to do that in both cases, the measures from the big triangle, and then the small triangle measures on the bottom. Or you could do it the other way, but you just have to be consistent in both ratios. Okay, so notice that the 12 comes from the big triangle, the X comes from the small triangle, the 21 comes from the big triangle, the 7 comes from the small triangle. It's always big over small. Alright, so then we can solve this proportion here. 12 over X equals 21 over 7. We can cross multiply, so 21 times X, or 21X, equals 12 times 7. And then you can work that out and find your answer, and you'll end up getting that X equals 4. Okay? The main thing here is to know how to set up the proportion, because once you have the proportion set up, you can probably solve the problem. Okay, the next example shows a parallelogram drawn like this, and they give you this side is 54 centimeters and this side is 72 centimeters, and then they have a little parallelogram drawn inside, and they have X here and 24 here. Now this might be a little bit harder to see, and so if it is hard for you to see, what I would do is draw the small parallelogram out as a separate figure, and then it might be a little bit easier to figure out how to do this problem. Alright, so now we have to figure out which sides are the corresponding sides. So here's the top, and that corresponds to the X, and then this side over here corresponds to this side right here. Can you see that? Alright, so now we want to set up a proportion. So let's do big to small. So 72 over X equals 54 over 24. And then you can solve that proportion and get the answer. So cross multiply, 54X equals 72 times 24. If you multiply that out, you will get your answer, And let's see, the answer X ends up being 32 centimeters. Okay, once you multiply that out and divide. You can use your calculator on these. The main thing is to know how to set up your proportion. Okay, so there are some problems on that page on 71 and 72 where you have to set up a proportion to be able to solve for one of the sides on these figures. Okay, be sure that when you write these ratios that the sides are corresponding sides. Okay, so you have to be really careful to make sure that you're setting those up correctly or you will not get the right answer. Okay. Alright, so go ahead and try pages 71 and 72 for homework. And do your best and don't give up. Talk to you later. Bye.